Holy moly, we are live. I mean, I hope so. Okay, guys. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Let me know, guys, how is the sound, the video, and everything. You know, all of that jazz. Okay, guys. I'm as always super bigger amateur. Okay, guys. I'm as always super bigger amateur. Okay, guys. I'm as always super bigger. What's going on, Morty? How are you doing? La 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 la. Stream connection status is poor. Interesting. So, guys, what's going on? I hope someone already watched my video that I uploaded like half an hour ago. I was a little bit rushing and I was expecting. Hold on, let me put it down. I was planning to upload it a little bit earlier, but didn't happen. Current viewers 11. Can someone let me know if everything is alright with the stream, because nobody is telling me anything. On my end, looks alright. Lazy football fan. What do you think about Lonitab 5 mg? Well, I guess that's oral minoxidil. Yeah, that's what I'm taking. 5 mg. I'm quartering it and yeah, taking quarter of a pill once a day. Hello, my friend Sagaray29. How you doing, brother? Guys, let me know if you hear me, if everything sounds alright. Din 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 din. What's that? Fire up, even if you're Norwood 6. Is it safe? I can hear you. Great. Even if you're Norwood 6, do hair transplant surgeons still expect you to take Propecia, and if so, why? Yes, I guess. It depends on the individual, obviously. Mainly to prevent from further recession, basically. Propecia stops hair loss in 80% of men. Why aren't people taking it? When I was younger, I knew about it, but I don't think I knew it was 80% effective. I was too poor to afford it. Well, even if it's effective 80%, people are mainly scared to death to even try this drug. That was me for 5 years as well. I knew about this drug and never took it. And you know, eventually I took the plunge. Thanks God. Hopefully not gonna stop working. And I think, yeah, that's the main reason. Hey Rashu, how you doing? So can anyone just type in the chat quickly if the sound and the video is alright? Because I got like little funny errors here and there on the YouTube, but should be alright on my end. Just came back from the gym, by the way, so yeah, hopefully everything is gonna be fine with my transplant. I started the gym this week. Yeah, so I started the gym about a bit more than 2 weeks, so like 17 days or so after the transplant. And Dr. Ferreira said it's fine to start after 2 weeks, go all in, you know, full force, 1 rep max, 1 not. So yeah, I decided to take it easy, but yeah, should be fine. Do you have an opinion on Hassan and Wonk in Vancouver? Yes, very good opinion. I mean, they are considered one of the best in the world. So if you can afford it, I'm pretty sure it's a no-brainer, basically. Right now. Yo bro, how bad was your shedding while using topical minoxidil, or wasn't it that bad? I had shedding, but to be honest, I cannot remember how bad it was. Let me have a look at some pictures and try to refresh my memory. I obviously gonna share my findings with you guys, so just bear with me. Holy crap, I think I don't even have these pictures now on this PC. Well, anyways, I don't remember it was that severe, but for me the problem was I never had a lot of hair to begin with. I was already Norwood 5, like there was literally zero hair in the front, and there was what, a little bit in the mid scalp and the crown, but pretty much the whole Norwood 5A, not many hairs. So even if I shed like 3-5 hairs because I had like 10 hairs, you know what I mean? So it's a bit tough, but I've heard some people are going through massive shed, some people are going through very minor shed. It really depends on each individual, basically. It depends where you're gonna catch your hair, in which phase, and also like the state of the hair. If they're really miniaturized, then they're gonna shed much sooner, and so the new stronger hair gonna come out. But if you have like a lot of thick terminal hairs, I really don't think they're gonna shed. It's not really that. It doesn't mean like you're gonna shed everything from the top. It looks alright now. YouTube is fine. Magic BB sounds good, pal. Now where you get your the oral minoxidil? Secret. Splitting with sapphire blade is good or not? No, sapphire blades are crap. A bunch of crap. Go ahead on Joe Tillman's channel, YouTube channel, which is a hair transplant mentor or hair transplant channel, something like that. The hair transplant channel, I think. And he just did a very like one of the best videos, and it was actually about sapphire blades, sapphire FUE. Is it good or bad? And he posted like a couple of days ago. Go ahead, check it out. You're not gonna have any more questions about it. Samir, how are you doing, brother? Bro, what if you start losing ground on finasteride? I was shedding 150 hairs after 2 years of religious daily Proscar use. Well, okay, first of all, you can go through telogen effluvium, like hair cycles. If you catch your hair, if you didn't do for a long time anything, so your anagen phase is already really short, and you start doing medications like minoxidil especially or finasteride, it's absolutely normal to shed after 1 year or even after 2 years, because just the hair is going through the hair cycle. So that's absolutely fine. Just don't change anything and keep at it. And eventually after like 3 to 6 months, you're gonna stabilize again and it's gonna be absolutely fine. It's so yeah, this routine shedding, it's absolutely normal. Some people saying there's this seasonal shedding. It's just hair cycles. And what I will do if I will start losing ground on finasteride, well, there's quite a few things. First of all, I already started oral minoxidil to begin with, so that's why I'm kind of trying to prevent. Of course, it's not gonna stop hair loss, but it's like it's gonna give like a little boost to kind of, I don't know, maybe gonna help. But if DHT is still gonna be eating my follicles and I'm gonna see it still miniaturizing, then I'll jump on topical dutasteride. And then macroneedling, of course, as well. So topical dutasteride is going to be working mainly as a DHT blocker, and I know topical dutasteride is pretty safe, to be honest. I've seen like few studies here and there. It's more and more surgeons start to prescribe it, and yeah, to be honest, in my opinion, is really promising. So that's why I'm gonna add on top of oral finasteride, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be doing well. And if that is not gonna work, obviously I'm gonna jump on some topical anti-androgen, and right now I don't want to experiment with like a RU or fluoridil or not, or even like with this nuke flutamide and all of this bicalutamide and whatnot. I'm waiting for Breezula to approve the clascoterone for hair loss, so it's gonna be kind of gonna be a safe option basically. But yeah, it's still in a phase I think 2 trial, like it's still gonna be for the next 2 years nothing. So I think I'm alright for the next couple of years, hopefully. If I'm gonna lose the ground, then if I'm gonna be really desperate, I'll probably just try either fluoridil, maybe I'll try the one from this estradiol, how's it called now? Pantocin brand. Anyways, topical estradiol, it can work as well, but I'm really not a big fan. Anyways, yeah, there are some things I've got in my mind, just to kind of, top it up if there is something wrong. Holy crap, that was a long answer. The Red Star. Hey mate, 2 months after hair transplant, a bit itchy last week, but I don't see any growth, but I still can feel under my fingers that something is there. Yes, there's definitely something under your skin, 100%. But 2 months is very early. Like, don't worry, and stay strong. For the next 1 more month, not gonna really see much. But the good news is, after 3 months, the hair cycles, after about 100 days after you shed the hairs, you start to experience new hair growth. So go on my channel, have a look at my previous videos. I did 2 videos. I think I did 2 videos on my from month 1 to month 9, like the whole hair growth, like a timeline. Basically, I properly analyzed month by month. So you're gonna see where I was at month 1, month 2, month 3, and month 4, etc. And gonna give you some good perspective. And another video I did as well was the whole 12 months, like a short video from month 1 to month 12. Yeah, basically the only reason I created this video, just to kind of give reassurance to guys that like, if you feel like down, that you're 2-3 months and there is still nothing much, just it's an emotional roller coaster. You have to just hang in there, and good things gonna happen. It takes time. And think about it. How long it took you to lose all your hair, or whatever it is you lost? It didn't happen in a month or a year. It happened over a span of many years. So to be honest, hair transplant is pretty fast. Just 1 year, and you got so much new hair. That's, to me, it's mind-blowing. Bruh, opinion on HLC, please. HLC, I love it. Great clinic. I'm really fan of their work. I'm not a big fan that they're like multiple surgeons, although the surgeons there, from what I've seen, they're producing good work. My only concern would be like, you don't know who is exactly doing so, because every single surgeon has their own artistic view. They're doing it in a slightly different way, like design, implanting, singles, whatnot. Like, but that's really minor, to be honest. From what I've seen, from all the work I've seen, it's pretty good. So yeah, donor management, excellent. I really like this clinic. So yeah, if you choose them, I think you're gonna be in safe hands. But again, do your research. Every single clinic is or surgeon is gonna be different. Everyone has their own artistic view, so you have to choose what's best for you, basically. Does finasteride increase depression, and how many grafts are good for Norwood 5? Okay, finasteride. It can. That's one of the possible side effects. It's depression. So again, speak to your doctor. First of all, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician. I don't give any medical advice. Whatever I'm talking, just my personal view, opinion, just another dude to know online. That's it, really. But yeah, in general, that's one of the side effects. It doesn't mean it happens often. So I would say, if you already suffer from depression, or you have the tendency to get depressed, then maybe be careful. Maybe start lower, like start, I don't know, quarter or 1 milligram pill like every other day or something like that, and then build your dose up, build your tolerance, see how well you're doing. But again, that's only my opinion. Speak to your doctor about it. Ooh, holy shit, so many comments. Andy Powder, love your content, keep it up, appreciate that, man. Thanks so much, thank you so much for watching. And are you actually liking my videos? Mordecai, how are you doing? I watched Joe's video on Sapphire Blade video. It was very good. I noticed that the steel blades were more square than the Sapphire one, which had pointy shape. Not sure that makes a difference. You know what, to be honest, if this would make a difference, I'm pretty sure it's not really that difficult to cut the steel, instead of like in a straight line, to cut it like that. And on another hand, another surgeons, I think Dr. Ferreira, on my first surgery, he used a needle to make incisions in the very front, like maybe 3 or 4 rows. So yeah, some surgeons using needle, and so it's pretty pointy. So yeah, I really don't think that matters too much, to be honest. It's just some marketing. Did you think about having your childhood head scar transplanted, or was it just a waste of grass for you? Which one? I have so many. I got on my eyebrow, I think, I don't know. I think over here, yeah, on this eyebrow. Not sure if you're gonna be able to see. Anyways, got on my eyebrow. I got quite a big scar on, literally on the crown, on the where is the actual whorl. a bit lower, I think, where is the whorl, and then in the back on the donor, I think another 2 or 3. One of them is quite big. Yeah, it doesn't bother me, to be honest. I never even seen, like, my scar is visible only when my hair is super short, and even then it's like, who cares, you know? So yeah, I don't know, we will see, but yeah, right now it definitely would be a waste of graft. It's like, come on, I've got a really limited amount of grafts and I've got pretty severe hair loss, thin hair. You know what? I rather put it somewhere else, like in my hairline, for example, or on my nose. By the way, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. 37 people watch, 38, that's great. Like, to be honest, for my size of a channel, that's quite a substantial amount of people watching. So yeah, once again, appreciate that. Make sure to like the video, that's gonna be great. Although I don't think it does anything, but hey, at least, you know, at least we can try to hack the YouTube algorithm. Come on, I have to pay somehow for my 2 transplants, you know? Like, I mean, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to recover ever in my life, spend all my life savings. Did you think about having your... Okay, that's done. Hey Rolandas, what do you think of post-finasteride syndrome? And what are your thoughts about depression and psychological problems after finasteride? Is it really a big deal as people think? Well, in my opinion, I don't really believe in it. Thank you very much. Look at that, what I got. It's Friday day, oh, it's mojito time, guys. Oh, it's great, some refreshment. What else? Post-finasteride syndrome. In my opinion, I never spoken to a person that thinks he has. Although I've seen in the forums, especially on Reddit, a lot of people like crying, oh, I've still got sites after, you know, a year or whatnot, or 3 months. But scientifically, it was never proven. It's pure anecdotal. In my opinion, I'm not saying it's impossible, but in my opinion, what's happening is it's not finasteride, or it's not only finasteride. There, like, ED can happen in a normal, healthy human being, you know what I mean? So if you have a tendency for depression, for ED, for other like a psychological, you know, things, then being on finasteride maybe could potentially lead to it. Again, I'm just like eyeballing, but what I'm trying to say, it's definitely a multitude of like things combined together. It's not just finasteride. So I would say it's best bet you can do is like to see endocrinologist, check your, you know, like all the things, do a proper blood work and see it's probably like estrogen can be, you know, high. It might be your lifestyle, you know, poor lifestyle choices, poor, you know, diet, you know, maybe there is extra body weight. It all, you know, contributes in that, because you got extra body weight. If you like, you know, over 20%, your estrogen, I'm pretty sure your estrogen is going to be much higher than it would have been otherwise if you would be 10% body fat. So if you have lower body fat, your testosterone is going up and your estrogen is going down. So could be one of the things to try. I mean, I guess, again, not a professional. Which is the best solution for preserving grafts during hair transplants? Best solution? I don't know, my surgeon is using saline. And I spoke with him, there are pretty, like, quite a few, you know, solutions. Hyperthermazole, ATP or not. There's a new one I know, David Demusa was talking about, like his surgeon was using. But to be honest, like, I spoke about it with Dr. Ferreira, and he said he didn't, like, he tried them all, he didn't really see much difference. He thinks there is no really justifiable, you know, justification, you know, for its cost to use it, because other solutions can be much more expensive and they not necessarily provide more, you know, like you know, benefit. But again, what do I know? Samir, opinion on the horseshoe shadow that is still visible after razor close shave, please. I know you've been really obsessed with this. So, okay, my opinion, it doesn't look great. I mean, to be fair, if you still have a visible horseshoe, you know, kind of shadow after you like closely, you know, shave down with the razor, then I'm pretty damn sure you got really thick hair and thick donor. So if that's the case, just get a transplant. Like, I mean, I don't know, for me it's no-brainer. Like, that's kind of logical. Of course, your case might be different, but that's the way I look at it. I'm currently using 0.5 finasteride. Thinking on Venoxyl, microneedling. Do you try that before your transplant? Yes, I did. I was on finasteride with, I was on minoxidil with microneedling, topical minoxidil with microneedling for 12 months before my first transplant, and I was on finasteride for 6 months altogether before my transplant. And yeah, it works. It works pretty well. It was not enough to avoid any of my transplants, even the second one. Hence why I had it, but it works, and I'm planning to come back on microneedling. And right now I'm on oral minoxidil together with finasteride. And in terms of 0.5 finasteride, yes, it can work. If your androgenetic alopecia is not as aggressive like as mine, for example, I'm pretty confident it can work well. But again, speak to your doctor and monitor how well you're doing on it. Magic. What do you think of alpha-tridal, pantocin, and stamoxetine for fighting hair loss? So that was the word I was trying to find. Alpha-tridal. Yeah, it's a topical estradiol. First of all, it works a little bit different way. Still kind of like an anti-androgen, but not really. It's like it works in the mechanism of action is different, but it's worth looking at. So there is a place, like there are like many, how to say, there's a company, I think it's in Spain, where they are checking your blood and you sending to their lab, and they will send you like the whole freaking 20 pages, like a review of what they think is a cause of your hair loss and what, in their opinion, you should take, including what dosage and different kind of treatments. And actually, I spoke with one guy about it, and he said that they recommended to him to drop finasteride, to start, I believe it was topical minoxidil, but it was like a 10 or 15%, and to add alpha-tridal, so topical estradiol. So I found it interesting. I don't know how exactly they're finding about it. I'm planning to do it for myself at some point once I get some more money from my YouTube, because I paid for all my transplants and I don't have enough. It costs money. But nonetheless, it's an interesting thing to look into. On the Instagram page, the HLC clinic has uploaded a photo of buzz donor after 3,000 glass. Let's take a look at it. Okay. I like this kind of, Instagram. Let's have a look. HLC. Well, first of all, you need to understand one thing. Donor is different. Like, everyone is healing in a very different way. Hair transplant. How is there HLC nails? Hairline clinic. How I can find them? Hairline back. Can someone put in the chat what's the HLC Instagram? Cannot find them. Anyways, moving on. Holy cow, guys, sorry, I need to slow down. Solution, HLC. Okay, your transplant looks great. I appreciate that. Thanks so much, man. Really kind of you. Yo, you mean alpha-tridal? That's it. That's the one. Our Salvatore is back. Are you talking about Kevin, man? Mordecai, how's the redness of your mid-scalp? Do you have popping during this last procedure? So popping, I really had almost none, to be honest. I asked Dr. Ferreira after the whole 2 days, and he said there was like very minimal amount, almost like maybe about 5% only, even though I tend to, like, my grafts tend to pop a lot. And he said only because he knew about it and he knew what he has to do. He was like spacing, implantations, like, like kind of, he tried to implant grafts in a wider range from each other, so they can stay a little bit longer, and the blood gonna act like a glow a little bit better and gonna keep them. And another thing, he was just slow, and there's like a specific techniques when you're implanting with the lion implanter. Like you need to pull the scab or not. Have a look at the Dr. Lorenzo. I think he did a video on popping and how to manage it with implanter pens. Really great video if you're a nerd like me. So yeah, he basically used all the tricks in the book, and yeah, he avoided pretty well. So that's great. In terms of redness on mid scalp, I actually did just now a video posted half an hour ago when I discussed shedding, but you can see my properly mid scalp. Overall, it's difficult to say now because I still have quite a few hairs in there, but yeah, shedding. Oh, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shedding. Yeah, but once it's all gonna be gone, after I think other than maybe 3-4 weeks, we're gonna be able to see a clear look how much redness is there. But so far it doesn't look that much compared to my first transplant. Dylan, took 3 pills of finasteride and feeling tingling in my breast. Do I stop? I would say think about stopping. I mean, it's gyno is a very serious thing. And to be honest, if you're prone to it, you're gonna probably get it even on a lower dose. But again, I don't know nothing. Speak to your doctor about it. The man has risen just like Jesus. Guys, hilarious. C&D, how many anesthetic needles did you have? Did they hurt bad? Man, I have no idea. Like, the doctor was putting throughout the whole surgery, basically. And in terms of pain level, the very first maybe like 5 pinches. Feels, but how much feels? I don't know, maybe 2 out of 10. Like, I don't know, I never felt like I know a lot of people are complaining that, you know, it hurts like bitch, but for me it was a very minor pain. And I spoke with Dr. Ferrer actually on my first surgery about it, and he said, oh, because he's trying to be gentle, he's like kind of, you know, massaging like that before, you know, putting the needle, and then he's not, I don't know, it's like putting a little bit and then he waits like maybe 5 to 10 seconds, so it starts kind of working a little bit, then, you know, he is putting the next like shot very, very close to it, so you don't feel much. So yeah, really nothing, to be honest. I was really surprised how painless it is. Painless. And yeah, over the course of the surgery, it was like putting, I remember there was this big light that he has, and in between the lamps there was like a metal or something that was working like a mirror, basically. When I look up, I could see my scalp. And I remember at one point I saw him, you know, taking a needle and just like shoving that needle in my scalp, putting that anesthetic, and it felt like it gonna go straight to my brain. But I didn't feel a thing. So that was an interesting experience. We are hair transplant twins. My crown hair transplant on June 6th. 18 days. Doesn't look as good as yours, but I'm hoping I'm late bloomer. Well, Roger, first of all, congrats on your hair transplant. Well done. 18 days. I mean, late bloomer. It's like the hair should not grow. They're gonna just grow just a tiny bit and that's it. So don't expect anything really for the first 5 months, I always say. But yeah, well done. If you got any questions, make sure to check out my other videos. I literally did like on every single day. Plenty of useful information. What about FE Expert? Really impressive YouTube presence. Their results on YouTube are great. That being said, I haven't seen much results posted by actual people online on the forums. So it's difficult to say. Maybe they're obviously cherry picking their results as everyone would. But yeah, I think it's a good place, but I don't know who would possibly wait for like 2 or 3 years for a surgery. Definitely not me. Dave, how to avoid donor scarring, get faster healing in a donor area. It's an interesting topic. So, Dave, first of all, if you're prone to get severe scarring, like myself, there is no really way around it. Some people, that being said, most people actually are healing extremely well, and most people, and like good amount of people, good chunk of amount of people, they will not even see the scars after FE. That's how well it's gonna heal. So it all really depends on your body, how well you're healing, and there's nothing much you can do. You can put like aloe and whatnot, but aloe vera, but it's not really gonna do much. Although now I spoke with Dr. Ferreira after my second transplant, and he said that microneedling might be a good idea, at least to try on the donor area, but after around 5 to 6 months, just to try and see if it could possibly either prevent like whitening of my scars like it was after my first transplant, or to kind of, I don't know, bring some pigment so it doesn't stand out as it is right now again. Because microneedling is well known basically for, you know, healing properties. Basically they're using everywhere for scars. Of course, probably the scars are normally not that deep as the like FE scars, But nonetheless, I think it's worth trying. That's what I'm personally gonna try after 5 months. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But worth considering. Right, moving on. Multidringus. Finasteride reduces depression. I mean, if your depression is caused by hair loss, then yes, I guess. How much have you spent in total on your 2 hair transplants? Oh man, too much. Like about, I don't know, 14,000 euro? I mean, if you're considering everything, flights, hotels, and like whatnot, it's definitely like over 15. It's just too much. Spend all my life savings, you know. But in my opinion, absolutely worth it. Every single penny. Money can be earned, can be made. Money is just money. You get money to get things in life. So that, like for me, I would rather have zero money in my pocket, but have a great head of hair than having like fucking 15,000 euro in my pocket and bald, no word 5. You know, it's a trade-off. But if you want to save up or be a little bit, not say greedy, but like cheap out, don't go to cheaper places. I mean, of course, relatively speaking, price can be lower in certain countries, like for example Turkey definitely can be lower, but other clinics in Turkey like HLC, they're charging still 2.5, 2.7 euro per graft, pretty much the same like Dr. Ferreira used to charge. Anyways, nonetheless, if you are in the US, then definitely it's worth looking at overseas. You're gonna get the same quality, for example, elsewhere in Europe for much cheaper than in US. But if you got the money, I think it's a no-brainer. All right. The man is God. Kevin Man YouTube is back online, but it's called Hair Cafe now. Are you serious? Hair Cafe. That's hilarious. Are your father and other bald male relatives jealous of you? Interesting. Actually, I'm not speaking to my father for many years, and all my family members, they're in Lithuania, so I'm not really talking much. But I mean, I'm not asking them are they jealous or not. I assume they are. It's a normal thing. My cousin is like Norwood, I think he's 3V, but he's pretty severe 3s, maybe even 4V. My brother is strong Norwood 6. He never did anything about his hair loss and he doesn't really care. My father is Norwood, in between Norwood 6, Norwood 7. He has a strong donor, but he's not a full-blown Norwood 7. So yeah, I don't know if he's jealous or not, but well, I would be. There are people drinking topical minoxidil. Ew. They say it's basically the same as tablets. Also, it seems that there are no hazardous ingredients in topical minoxidil, so why use tablets? It's a good topic and question. I know a lot of people been asking me and telling me. I know personally one guy that is like, man, I just drinking, and he had some success, but I would never do it. Like, if it's designed to use topically, use topically. If it's designed to use orally, use orally. Don't mix around. Don't start to crush finasteride tablets mixed with minoxidil topical and put on your scalp as a topical finasteride. Like, yes, some people have certain success, but you don't know. Maybe it's only because of minoxidil. Finasteride doesn't even work. And after 2, 3, or 4 years, you're gonna see they're gonna recede even further. Personally, that's not a gamble I would be willing, to take. But yeah, do it as you will. I would not do it. Andy, hey Rolands, I'm 24, all Norwood 2 to 3, been on 1 milligram finasteride for a year, no side effects. But to protect myself, should I add oral minoxidil or topical? But the application process, nah. To the protocol, well. Minoxidil is a great idea to add if you got like miniaturized hair. If you got especially a lot of miniaturized hair, then definitely you're gonna have a great boost. But if you don't have a lot of miniaturized hair and you're just kind of preventing with finasteride, there is really no point of minoxidil. So especially with the topical, be careful. Like so many people, they're just starting and after a couple of years they're just dropping it, and then you're gonna shed everything. So like what's the point? Is waste of time, money and effort basically. Be careful with minoxidil, but finasteride definitely. I would suggest be on finasteride for at least 2 years and then reassess, because up to 2 years you're gonna experience more improvement. That said, if you got a lot of miniaturization, definitely minoxidil is a great thing. What do you think is missing in hair transplant technology in order to make results look completely natural? I don't know. Amount of hairs? I don't think there's a technology issue. I think there's an issue of a donor. Like, I've seen so many transplants that look incredible. Like, you cannot really tell, you know, if the guy has hair loss. If someone is like Norwood 3, a little bit recession, and he goes to very good surgeon, and then they implant like 60, 70 grafts per centimeter square, you know, in the hairline with the fine single grafts. It looks perfect. Like, I would never think it's been a transplant. But on someone like me, on Norwood 5, it's pretty much impossible. And if you have like certain a little bit of recession, it's not going to be super thick, especially with my type of hair. I don't know. I think technology is there. It's just the problem is that not everyone can achieve realistically because of their limitation in terms of donor. Man, this mojito is so good. I like the videos from now on. My bad. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate that. Good man. Morty, OJ, no coffee. Orange juice. Oh man, I feel like there's so many comments. Holy crap, guys! I'm sorry. Let me catch up. That was orange juice, yes, and that's mojito. Getting ready for the Bold Truth show. Do you have more donor for another transplant? So Dr. Ferreira said I've got around 2,000 grafts available. I literally just like a bit more than half an hour ago posted a video about 3 weeks update after my transplant, where I discussed how everything looks, how my donor, recipient and whatnot. Excuse me. And yeah, I think only occipital area can give me 2,000 grafts. Again, but just my opinion. So I'm pretty confident I've got at least 2,000 grafts, you know, to play with. Plus beard, which is pretty much non-existent, but I still can get maybe 500 grafts from it. And chest, which is again maybe another like 500 grafts. Worst case scenario. I think, to be honest, I'm not really that bad situation. Currently at week 7. Shedding practically stopped, but now I see a lot of hair sprouting in areas where I didn't have hair before. Expected or fast grower here. Greetings from Portugal. João. I remember I had a co-worker with name João. It's really difficult to pronounce it well. João. Anyways, well done. Congrats with your transplants. Good for you. You avoided, not avoided, but like the shedding is kind of past you. If you see growth, that's great. Like some people start, you know, earlier, some people start, you know, later. It really depends on you. So if you see some growth, I'm happy for you, man. Mojito time, oh yeah. What do you think about taking small, thin hair from donor places like forearms and apply to hairline to soften the look and make it look more natural? So, okay, let's go to the basics. Body hair. Okay, no, not body hair. Let's go to the basics of hair quality, let's say. So scalp hair is number one. It's the best quality. The survival rate is very high, over 90% if everything is done correctly. The anagen growth, which is growth phase, is about 2 to 7 years. The telogen phase, which is about 100 days, 3 months. So basically, if you shed for 3-4 months and then it starts growing back again. That's the best, and it looks great, obviously. Second best donor area is beard hair. It's usually much coarser. It's usually single grafts, sometimes has doubles and even triples, but it's very rare. Its anagen phase is up to 1 year, so it means they're gonna fall off after 1 year. For some people, you've seen like with super long beards, they can grow longer, but it's again not super. It's not that common. And telogen phase is longer. I don't remember exactly what things are, something about 6 months telogen phase. So it means after it's shed for like half a year, there is no more growth of beard, you know, hair. So it's not, and it has different, you know, qualities, like wiry always, like can be kinky, if you transplant, you're gonna feel it, you know. So many people I spoke with, they said they properly feel, you know, when they run the hand, you know, through the hair. So, but it's still viable. It's survival rate, I think, is something between 50-60%. I might be wrong, but that's just something I've heard. And then is chest hair. Chest hair survival is like 40 or something percent, or even less, and it's like even It's just I think anagen phase is something like 6 months or even less, and then telogen phase is as well 6 or something. So it's like pretty much half of the time is in a telogen phase. It's not growing. So it's, in my opinion, it's just a waste of money, time, and effort again. But again, overall, it can give you like certain boost, but it's not the best. Any other body hair, literally any other body hair, it's exactly the same like chest hair. It means it's most of the time it's gonna be on a telogen non-growth phase, and if you're gonna grow, it's not gonna grow long. So you're not gonna be able to grow it longer. You're gonna be looking very weird. I know a lot of doctors, they're using a lot of hairs, but it's like, I would personally not do it. Your transplant looks great. Your growth and hairline is indetectable. Thank you very much. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Although now I'm literally in front of the LED light, very harsh, but yeah, I'm happy. My girlfriend is happy actually. She thinks I have to keep this hairstyle all the time. We shall see. Do you know how juicy you look with the transplant now? Juicy? You mean I'm fat? That's what you're trying to say? Why most of the surgeons don't go for FUT and FE combination? Because they probably don't do FUT. As far as I know, if someone does FUT and FUE in their practice, there is no reason not to do both. Hey Rolandas, do you see hair transplants getting cheaper in like 4 to 5 years? To be honest, no. To be honest, I actually think it might be even, I mean, in places like Turkey, possibly, yes. I mean, that's the only thing they do. They're competing for the price, that's it. Because like there's 400 clinics, I think, in Istanbul alone, if not more already. But in other places, like right now, the hair transplant industry is creating overall, like from places like Turkey, India, UK, and even US, like these cheaper places that don't really know how to do proper hair transplant, they're creating so much repair cases, so many repair cases that in the future, in the next 3 to 5 years, like the good surgeons, they're gonna be busy just repairing all the time. It's gonna be no amount of like a new patient. It's gonna be only repairs, and to be honest, it's pretty bad. So I really don't think they're gonna be charging less anytime soon. But the cheaper places, of course, that's the only thing they do. They compete for price. They don't care about quality. Add SMP, but thinking of transplant, but I'm afraid how I would look. Can I keep sides with SMP and not transplant to save more grafts for upper head? Okay, let me get it again. Can I keep sides with SMP and not transplant sides? Are you talking about donor sides or what exactly? If oh, you had SMP, but if I don't understand completely the question. I'm sorry. Too much mojito? No, too little mojito. Menu, great answers. You obviously put a lot of blood, sweat, and mojito in it. Bingo. I love mojito. Like in a hot summer, man, that's like the best drink, my favorite drink. All right, moving on. Hi, bro. Do you know if the hypertrichosis caused by oral minoxidil is correlated with good scalp hair results? Does this side effect stop after several months, or will we get 10 centimeter back hair? First of all, no. I seriously doubt you will ever gonna get 10 centimeter back hair unless you're prone to it. Again, going back to the same topic what I was talking about, anagen phase. Of course, oral minoxidil, that's how it works. It's prolonging the anagen phase, but I seriously doubt it from, like 3 to 6 months you're gonna increase to fucking, 2 years. So I'm pretty sure it should be fine. But in terms of if there is a correlation, it's difficult to answer. I never thought about it this way, I guess. Possible, but again, body hair, they're growing mostly because of DHT, and scalp hair stops growing because of DHT. So they're not in the same league. I am not sure if they're gonna be working in the same way, but I would assume yes, oral minoxidil technically works for all hair, regardless of where it is. If you apply on your beard gonna grow faster and more hair. You're gonna apply to scalp gonna be growing. So possibly it might be a good sign. I don't know. It's a very good question actually. You need to look more into it. Checkmate. Checkmate, what's up? I'm 4 months after my hair transplant. What can I expect? Well, you can expect a lot of new hair anytime soon. I'm really happy for you and actually a little bit jealous, but just a little bit. More density, man, you can expect more density up to like a good 10 months, to be honest. Just go check my videos on hair transplant growth timelines. You're gonna see. Brush her up, we so damn hot. Isn't that like Russian singer or something? I think I remember from childhood. I think she's pretty old already, no? Would you get SMP now after your second hair transplant for your donor area? I don't have any plans. I don't think my donor area needs SMP as of right now. If I really need it, maybe I'll try, but to be honest, I think I'm good. I'm keeping SMP in the back of my head, but like for the very last resort. I'm not really a big fan of it. It's an ink that fades, you can change the color. You know, it's not gonna be looking great long term. In India, most of the surgeons do hair transplant without magnification. Do you think magnification is such needed in a hair transplant? Like a year ago, I would say yes. But since I've seen how Dr. Zarev is doing his surgeries, I was like, what? You know what I mean? So Dr. Zarev, he is an amazing surgeon in Bulgaria. He is producing great results. He's not using magnification to extract. He's not using magnification to implant. Maybe he's an outlier, like with the vision of 100 to 20. But overall, I would say it's great to have them. It's like you can see better where is the actual hair graft, how it grows, especially when you're doing extractions. The hair under the skin can be a little bit in a different position than it's on the top, especially if you've got like a kinky hair or like a wavy hair. With a straight hair, it kind of, more straightforward. But with magnification, you can kind of see like better how it bends, like like the more you can see more details. So I would say it's definitely a good idea to have magnification. But well, some surgeons doing great job without it. So who I am to to judge? They're called HLC Clinic on Instagram. Let's do it. HLC Clinic _ Oh, пластическая хирургия. Why it's in Russian? Oh, HLC. I think HLC, they're doing not just hair transplants, but other things. Oh, I see. There you go. HLC Ankara. Are you over 18? Oh my gosh, are you serious? Of course I am. That's interesting. Yeah, why would I need to be looking at hair transplants if I'm not 18? What's up? Okay. All right. Let's switch the scene. There you go. Boom. What's that? Is that the picture? Donor area. Donor area after 3740 grafts and buzz cut. Look closer to find the dots. Can we like save the picture? No, we cannot. Okay. Can we like zoom in? Oh, we can. Not much. Well, anyways, looks great. But of course, keep in mind. I think actually I see there you go extractions here. But yeah, it's pretty invisible. Yeah, you can see here and there a little bit, but it's pretty damn invisible, to be honest. Great work. But again, it all depends on the person, how he is healing. Like I've seen from many clinics, they're saying, look at the donor. But again, that's cherry picked. It doesn't mean every single patient gonna have the same donor. So never pay attention to this. It's just a marketing ploy, basically. It's like if you see this donor, doesn't mean you're gonna go there and have the same donor. It's absolutely false. Mojito. But yeah, HLC is great. I started losing my hair in 1990s. Holy shit! You start losing hair since I was still in thoughts of being made. Checkmate. Do you got good FET surgeons which are not in US? I think one of the best FET surgeons that is not in US is Dr. Murisano in Hattingen. So this clinic is amazing. Like, they are freaking expensive. I think they're even more expensive than Hassan and Wong, to be honest. But their FETs are like spot on. But to be honest, in Europe there's not really many FET surgeons that are especially on a good price, because if there would, I would probably go for FET, because I couldn't find in my price range, hence why I went for FE. But I had it in the back of my head. My turkey was 2000 and it was so good. Good for you, man. I'm happy for you. That's, at the end of the day, that's what matters. If you're happy, I'm happy, and everyone should be happy. Assholes, no. I'm in the UK, but I can't be bothered to fly to places like Turkey. I'll just go to Harley Street in London and Dr. Reddy. Ooh, if you can afford Dr. Reddy, man, just go for it. He is amazing surgeon. I really love his work. He's pretty expensive. I think it's like £6 per graft. But man, his work is great. Yeah, if you can afford, just go for it. I would probably do the same. Why bother? Do you think topical finasteride or dutasteride are good? Topical finasteride can be better than oral, but it's almost the same, to be honest, if you're talking about side effects. Some people experience less side effects, but it can be a hassle. Let me put myself in the center. It can be a hassle to apply. You don't know if you apply it just enough, if you don't know if you apply it in the correct places, you know. So if you don't apply in the right spot enough, you might not have benefits from it, even though it still goes systemic. Like, I would always prefer oral, to be honest. And I think even lower doses of oral finasteride, it's not just easier, but it's better. Again, in my opinion. But topical dutasteride is definitely better than oral, because topical dutasteride has molecular level which is much denser than the molecular level that's needed to penetrate the skin. So I think the minimum amount is the density of how are they measuring now? I cannot remember. Molecular level to penetrate the skin. Man, I love Google. Dalton, there you go. So it requires 500 Daltons, or let's say under 500 Daltons, in order to penetrate your skin. So topical finasteride has, I think, 200 something. That's why it has no problems to penetrate and go systemic. Topical dutasteride, however, if it has a good vehicle, it has, I think, 534 something like that molecular level Daltons. So it's not enough to penetrate properly the skin and go systemic. But evidence shows, again, most anecdotally, there's like very few little tiny studies that are not really that specific, but nonetheless, there is a little bit of evidence showing that they're still reaching hair follicles and they're still getting the benefit from the dutasteride without getting any sides. So again, maybe early to say, but my personal opinion, it can be a really, really good thing. Definitely worth trying. Abdul, where are you reading these comments from? Can't see them here in YouTube. Oh, really? I see the chat. Or I'm making them up. Bro, just tell us where to get the oral minoxidil. Must have called 100 hair clinic yesterday and no one prescribes it. Keep looking. You know what I was thinking, maybe to do my own research and see, at least in UK, or who is prescribing actively oral minoxidil, and basically make a list. But as far as I am concerned, find a dermatologist. Find a dermatologist who is willing to prescribe, and then just go to pharmacy and buy it. If no, go to Ireland. Go to Ireland, there is definitely Dr. Nell, and there is another clinic, can't remember now. They're always prescribed. Just go there. I don't know if it's possible, just get prescription there, and that's it, once in half a year or whatnot, or once in a year. And yeah, get it from there. That's like 100% success rate. I'm still hesitant with using a Dermarol pen. The pen costs a lot of money, and there's also a question. Well, if you don't see it enough for you to use it, to start using or to buy, then don't do it. I mean, that's my opinion. I've seen evidence, it doesn't work perfectly for everyone, but you know, that's the way I think about LLLT. The hats are normally quite expensive. Of course, you can find for a couple of $100 in Alibaba or AliExpress, quite cheap. But you need to make extensive research on it, of course. But nonetheless, it still costs quite some money and definitely works it doesn't work as great as like finasteride or minoxidil. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not using LLLT, but I think I'm planning just to kind of add up and see, you know, how well it's gonna work. To the mix. Opinion on Absolute Hair Clinic. Have no idea, and just by the name sounds like not great. Appreciate your honesty and candor. Oh, candor. What does this word mean? You know, my English is amazing. I love my English. My vocabulary is so big. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Candor. Let's see. Oh, I just translated to Russian. It means откровенность. Okay, well, thank you so much. That's me. That's my second name. Hey, I had transplant 9 months ago, and it has only grown 40 to 50%. Does it grow much more from month 9 to 12? I mean, in terms of length and like visual density, because hair is gonna get a little bit thicker, yes. In terms of new growth, like as of new hair sprouting through the skin, I seriously doubt they're gonna be much, if any, after 9 months. So yeah, I mean, if you don't have much, I think it's kind of safe to assume that it's not gonna be much more improvement. But again, don't make any hard decisions, you know, just wait 12 months and see how it looks. Raghu Reddy was the same guy who did Mike Thurston, right? That's absolutely right. How long was the waiting list for you? For first transplant, it was about 6 months. For second transplant, again about 6 months. I booked my second transplant in, I think, 2nd of January, something like that. And yeah, for 3rd of June. And they didn't have any earlier, you know, time slot. And they didn't have the cancellations, at least for me. Okay, I was feeling that I'm special, but seems like I'm not for Dr. Ferreira. Anyways, yeah, that's how long. But I am fully aware right now it's like a year. I think his next availability is like next year, May or even June. It's something crazy. Bruno Ferreira. The stream is so delayed for no reason. Really? Stream is... Its status is poor. No idea, to be honest. I hope it, like, the whole overall sound, at least it's good. Or maybe you think it's delayed because I'm just trying to keep up with the comments. I'm trying to read every single comment. I know it's not much, but I appreciate your brother. Have a nice weekend. Man, Genetic Freak 84. Thanks so much for $5 USD. I'm gonna grab another mojito for that. Cheers. Mordi, another $5. That's great. Love your content. Enjoy another mojito. On me. I'm gonna get drunk, man. You're gonna make me drunk today. When are we meeting in New York? Some nice guys are making some meetings here. I have thick, wavy, light brown hair. I don't think I can achieve a soft hairline. Do you agree? You can. Like, there are certain parts of the donor area that have finer hairs, like around the ears, down in the nape of the neck. But it's not always possible to extract from these areas, because if you got retrograde alopecia, definitely 100% no. For me, I don't have a retrograde, or at least it doesn't look like I have. Maybe there's around the ears a little bit, but again, I never had like a big density, so for me it was okay. But again, Dr. Ferreira never really went down deep, on the neck of the, nape of the neck to extract the finer hairs, but that's like one of the areas where it could be potentially, viable. But to be honest, if the single hair grafts implanted in the correct angle, it's gonna look great. So I would not really worry too much about it. Okay. What do you think about the UK clinics? I think there's only like 3 or 4 that are worth looking at. So pretty much the same like in any country. So I never talk about, countries. Boo, Noble Truth tonight. Oh no, why not? I was hoping to, get drunk and call in. Maybe not call in. How I DM you on YouTube? Do you have an Instagram? You cannot DM me on YouTube. I currently do not have Instagram for YouTube, but feel free to email me on mr.rolandas.ht@gmail.com, or just check description, not description, check the about page of my channel and you're gonna see the email. DM me for details. How do I know? Okay. Is Hassan and Wong better than Bruno Ferreira? It's up to you to decide. I think they're both great. I mean, I went to Ferreira, but if I will have money, who knows if I would go there? I don't know. It's I mean, if I would need FET, I would definitely go, no questions asked. So, but if you're looking at FEE, keep researching. After 5 months, I can see lots of hair on my hairline. I'm going to get my hairline back. I mean, man, I really hope you will. So, great news. Just keep doing whatever it is you're doing. Hope it's not some grow band with the blood flu thing. Fucking scammers. He might have extremely thin donor, that's why he has less scarring even after extracting 3000 grafts. I don't... no, it's just the scars itself. They have strong pigment, so they're not standing out. Like, for example, in my case, they have zero pigment. They're properly white. Even though I've got a fair, like pale skin, it's still they're standing out. So it all depends on that. Dr. Saif in Poland is doing FUT. That's right, Saif is doing FUT. Maximus, how are you, man? I'm very well, very good. Thank you very much. How are you doing? Any update about hair clone? No, not. Never gonna probably be doing updates on such things because it's just a waste of time. Just wanted to say hi. I've been watching your videos for a while now. I've decided to do hair transplant partially because of your videos. And to my surprise, I ended up doing my hair transplant in the very same day you did your second. Wow, that's great. You know what's surprising to me? So many people had roughly in the same time period their transplant when I had. For example, David Demusa had his transplant literally the same day like I had. I found it hilarious. So, well, keep just follow your post-operation instructions. Keep watching my videos for more information, and yeah, we're gonna grow hair together. What about no root touch technique? No root touch technique, what in the world is this? No idea, sorry man. Please make a list. I mean, it's a hard work and a lot of time it requires. I don't promise, it was just an idea, maybe. Rolandas. Okay, Rolandas, lol. Do you think it's justified to pay £10,000 or euros for 2,000 grafts at clinic like Dr. Paul? He's endorsed by Joe Tillman. When you get the same results from Bruno Ferreira. Listen, it's not all about money. Yes, you can get a good result in both places, but keep in mind, every single surgeon is doing kind of slowly in a different way, their transplants. First of all, Dr. Ball does FUT that Dr. Ferreira does not. So this thing you have to consider. Second, Dr. Ball is very conservative, but his hairlines are really nice. I really love it, like super soft, like the implantation pattern, everything, I love it. And if you're living somewhere here and you don't want to travel, especially right now with COVID, it's really pain in the ass. Like so many COVID tests and everything is just, like it's for you to decide ultimately. But I mean, I went to Dr. Ferreira and I really love his work. I think his hairlines are one of the best in the world. But again, just my, biased opinion. Is it worth it? It's up to you to decide. Is it worth it for you or not? Like, it's the same question. Is it worth to go to Dr. Ferreira or go to, I don't know, Dr. Demirsoy in Turkey, who's charging 2 times less? Still great surgeon. He's great, doing great results, but he has his own nuances that are not great, that put me off person. So there's a You need to just do your research and decide for yourself. Eduardo Ribeiro. Hey man, how are you doing? Hey man, congrats for your second transplant. Your hair right now shows how seamless the transition between your native and transplant hair. You're going to be able to rock short hair. Yes, thank you very much. First of all, I'm really happy with what I have, and I already discussed in a couple of my videos that like the implantation angles are like so natural, so top notch. It's to be honest, it's pretty unbelievable. Like in my I've seen so many transplants. It's really difficult to find, you know, such a good like implantation, consistent. Like if you look from the sides, it's like it goes like it flows. It's just you really don't know when the native hair starts and when the transplanted hair, you know, finishes. It's yeah, the work is incredible. I'm really happy. Opinion on Dr. Laur Wong from Bangkok. I never heard about him. I'm sorry. Hi, I'm day 14 now. Good for you, Martin. Keep up with the post-operation instructions and yeah, keep washing your head. Tough times ahead the next 3 months, but eventually you're gonna come off with more hair than you were before. So yeah, congrats on your surgery. Sushil Kumar. I'm using minoxidil, finasteride and dermaroller. Too much mojito. Now thinking of using oral minoxidil after meeting Dr. Bhatti in India. Oh, Dr. Bhatti is prescribing, oh yeah, right, he's prescribing 0.625 milligram oral minoxidil twice a day, as far as I know. I mean, if you think you need it and he thinks you need it, by all means, go for it. Their oral minoxidil has been shown definitely being much stronger, much more efficacious than topical. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. Let's grow hair. Let's do it. Tile installation. What a interesting name. Appreciate for $5 Canadian. Wow, never had the Canadian dollars. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but yeah, thank you so much. We'll go to Hassan Wong, pay for 1 graft. Not even 1 graft. I think they're charging more for 1 graft. Besides, Bruno Ferreira, who is the best FE surgeon in the world? Your opinion, please. Well, there's just so many. It's difficult to say. Conyor in US, one of the best, one of the most expensive. Hassan Wong, okay, in the US, I'm gonna be honest, I never looked so much into it, but I know there's so many great doctors. I've seen so much great results, you know, like Feller on Bloxham, for example, amazing if it is, but more in Europe, that's my expertise. Dr. Bisanga, great work. Lupanzula, great work. Hattingen hair, great work. Ball, Reddy. Dr. Tam is alright, although he's a bit too conservative for my liking. Dr. Maras, Ximena Villa, Pekiner, HLC, Demirsoy, Bitzer. Anyways, from the top of my head, Feriduni, Feriduni is a great surgeon. Bruno Pinto, just so many. It's, you know, it's a lot of world-class surgeons. But again, every single surgeon has his own pluses, minuses. You gotta find out, and you have to find out who would do best job in your particular case. So yeah, do your research. Help brothers out, man. Try and keep the gains for yourself. I have more thinner donor than yours. Doctors suggest me don't go for hair transplant because the transplanted hair won't last long compared to thicker donor area. Well, first of all, if you got diffuse unpartnered alopecia, which is called DUPA, thinning of the donor, then it's correct. Like even if you transplant, it doesn't mean it's gonna be DHT proof. If there's a thinning miniaturization in the donor, you're gonna after transplant you're gonna keep miniaturizing. So it's not stable donor. It's really bad news, but the treatment of it is exactly the same, finasteride minoxidil. So I know Dr. Lorenzo did quite a few cases on diffuse thinners that was pretty diffuse donor, but the patient stabilized loss, I think in 1 or 2 years with finasteride, and it like improved dramatically, and it didn't like, you know, decrease. So they did the surgery, but I think again it's like the patient knew that in the future the transplant can miniaturize. So it's like it's a tough decision to make. It's not the perfect candidate, but there are ways to go kind of around it, but there's higher risk basically. Javier Diaz, are you washing your hair daily now after your hair transplant, or every 2-3 days? How are you treating your donor area currently? Well, check out my video that I uploaded today, an hour or so ago, and I discussed this. But in general, I'm washing my hair. I'm trying to wash it once a day, but sometimes every other day after 2 weeks. Dr. Ferrer said I can wash whenever I want. And donor area, I mean, I'm using aloe vera on donor area and recipient area twice a day, every day, until I'm gonna run out of my aloe vera, which is 1 bottle left. So another, I think, maybe 2 weeks. So that's all really I'm doing. Finn gives me side effects. Does that mean hair transplant is not for me? Well, hair transplant and finasteride are different things, but I would say you have to, I mean, you can do transplant without finasteride, no problem. But you have to be careful. You have to careful basically with every step. So you have to assess your balding pattern. You have to assess your family history, especially. You have to check your whole scalp, especially donor, and for miniaturization under the microscope. And see basically, like, go to a good hair transplant surgeon that is not greedy, that's not gonna take you as a patient even though you're not a candidate, and ask this hard question. Some surgeons, they are very good at having these difficult conversations with the patients, and that's who you need to go and see, and see what's possible for you. But other than that, you can try topical dutasterate. I was already talking about it. There is some evidence that it can work without side effects. You can decrease the dose of oral finasteride. You can try topical finasteride, although it's probably going to be the same. But yeah, there are ways. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, just you have to be extra careful in such case. Hey Rolandas, do you know Dr. Bisanka in Brussels? Have you considered this clinic? I was there 14 days ago. Yes, I actually seen Dr. Bisanka in person. He checked my donor. He said, I've got great donor, about 80 to 100 grafts per centimeter square. I did not go with him because I couldn't afford it. That's the truth. But he's a great doctor. I love his work. Maximus, I just wanted to say, just because some clinic is cheap doesn't necessarily mean it's definitely bad. I had done over 3,800 grafts for only $1,800 in Turkey, and beyond satisfied about everything. Great for you, man. I'm like I always say, money is just preliminary, like kind of factor to know if it's good or bad. It all depends on the country. In Turkey, you can definitely find much cheaper than in US. But $1,800, it's most probably clinics that gonna be charging like a package deals. And again, there are clinics that are charging package deals that are pretty good still. But you just have to be more careful with them. Like, you have to do more research, because you need to think about it like consistency. Like, there is no doubt even the biggest hair mill in the world can produce at least one good hair transplant a week or a month. If they do, let's say, 50 transplants a week. 50, it's not even enough, probably more. But anyways, because they're gonna be still someone that is good at their work. The problem arises when there is like a 5-10 technician teams that are working. You don't know who you're gonna get, so you don't know what is the skill level of this technician team. How well they're extracting, how well they're implanting, what kind of hair angles they're like using for implantation angles, what kind of hair they're using for the hairline, different areas, etc. So there's a lot of factors to think about, and because there's no consistency, you don't know. So it's, for me personally, it's like a gamble. But if you're going to someone that is doing one surgery a day, like you're the only patient, like for example like Ferreira in my case, I know exactly, I've seen 10 results, I know exactly how 11th result gonna look like. It's gonna look something similar. The donor management gonna be something similar like that. The implantation, like kind of pattern, let's say, or level, gonna be similar as well. So it's like, because that's how he's doing his surgery. So like, it's basically a higher level of consistency, but again, you're paying the price for it. So it's for everyone, like everyone has his own like a threshold of how much they can tolerate, like in terms of what's the word? In terms of risk, basically, for me, it's not worth the risk because I've got one donor, and if someone gonna screw it up, game over. Like, I'm already worried right now that I'm not gonna have enough grafts if I'm gonna just continue balding. Imagine if my donor would be over harvested in the first transplant, you know, like, so. Yeah, but nonetheless, it's like I said, it's absolutely possible to grade. I've seen plenty of amazing results from all kinds of clinics. So good, if you are one of them, I'm really happy for you. Good for you, man. Andy Powder, sorry. If someone's asking for a good hair transplant doctor, you can redirect them to Joe Tillman's website. He has so many listed all from around the world. It is a good starting point. 100% agreed. Yes, Andy. Joe Tillman is an amazing source. Like, that's basically where I was taking most of my information. That's where I learned a lot. Yeah, and overall, IAHRS.com, like, their website is, again, there gonna be some surgeons that are not as great. I've seen pretty bad work from doctors from that website, but as a general rule of thumb, it's gonna be somehow filtered already. So it's a great place to start research. So yeah, but Joe Tillman, it's solid, like rock solid. All of the options are like 100%. Just choose any, you know, just go for it. Don Vito, did you shed after a couple of months of using oral finasteride? If so, after how many months? I don't think I shed anything from oral finasteride. At least nothing that I've seen. I was still in a shedding period. I was like losing hair here and there for the first like 14 months of being on finasteride. So, sorry, I didn't notice anything extra, if it makes sense. And in general, like, it's not really that common to have like a big shed from finasteride as opposed to minoxidil, because finasteride just blocks the DHT, so DHT does not bind to your, you know, androgen receptor and to your hair follicles, and they're just not miniaturizing, so they just keep growing. Nothing really happens. But minoxidil, on the other hand, is going directly to your follicles and tries to prolong anagen phase. So it kind of pushes out the weak hair, and then the new hair with the longer anagen phase is gonna grow. So that's basically the whole mechanism of action of minoxidil, kind of. So yeah, that's a great question. Do you believe in God? No. Hope you guys not gonna kill me now. I have some my English is so amazing. Awesome content, man. Any opinions on Dr. De Freitas? I think Dr. De Freitas is creating overall really great results. He really knows what kind of hair to pick, to choose, like a single fine hairs implant in the correct angle. But I'm not a big fan of his implantation pattern, especially in the hairline. He's like literally, he's not using micro irregularities. He's doing macro irregularities. It means he's not doing little tiny staggering. He's doing like a one line, then up, and then again a line, then again up, like I don't know. Like, if you look at his implantations immediately after the surgery, just it looks a bit weird to me. I really don't like it. But that being said, the final result, you really cannot see that much. But if you know what to look, you're still gonna see the implantation like in straight line. I don't know, I'm not a big fan, to be honest. But again, like I said, he's a great surgeon. Every single surgeon has his own perks, let's say. Up to you to decide. Where were we? Max, what kind of sponsorship would you take? That's a great question, Max. A lot of, okay, not like that crazy amount, but quite a few like clinics or companies reached out to me trying to, you know, promote themselves through my channel. And as you see, I don't promote anyone as of yet. It's not like I don't like sponsorships. I don't mind get money. Like, listen, like I said, I just spent fucking all my life savings on the transplants. I would not mind to get paid. And especially the amount of time and effort I'm putting into these videos is crazy. Like, one video it takes me to film and edit minimum 8 hours. Like, think about it, 8 hours. And how much I'm making on YouTube? Maybe £5, £10 a day in the very good day. It's not worth it for money. But yeah, going back to sponsorships, I don't promote anyone that I think is not worth being promoted. I'm all about no bullshit, that's my whole channel, what was built on, about the truth, about what works. So if someone gonna come to me, let's say, oh God, do you want to promote finasteride through me? I would say yes, go for it. Finasteride, I know it works, it's great. But if someone gonna come and try to sell fucking shampoo, snake oil through me, that like happened quite a few already companies, like no, like forget about it. I'm not even gonna reply to email because I know it doesn't work. What's the point to promote something that I know it doesn't work? You know, it doesn't make sense. And the same goes to hair transplant clinics. There were quite a few already, maybe 3 or 4 that reach out to me, and like I just looked at their work, it's disaster. Either there is a disaster work, or they don't even show. It's like the recent one was from US. Like, oh, they charging what, $7,000 all-inclusive package, but it's like I cannot see who is exactly doing the work. Their results are like you cannot really find them on the website. They're doing plenty of other, like, you know, cosmetic surgeries. That's generally not a good place. I asked them for more information, they never came back to me. So, you know, like, in short, I would not promote someone that I don't believe is a good thing. But if, let's say, Dr. Ferreira will say, okay, Rolandas, I'll pay you X amount of money per month, so you can promote me or make a video about me, I'm gonna pay you, I would say yes. Like, I went to him, I love his work, but sadly he's not paying. Despite how many times people try to put me into that I get paid to do the videos for him. Or I got the surgery for free, I wish. Where were I? That was Max, okay. Maximus, I know money shouldn't be the decisive factor, but it is for many, since not everyone can afford an expensive clinic. So as you said, cheap clinics could be good, but you have to do a ton of research. That's exactly right, Maxo. I would never say it's bullshit. You just have to be careful. It's just more chances of bad result versus good result, and you really don't want to gamble. Personally, I almost went to like one of the cheaper clinics in Turkey, but and then I stopped. I decided to save for longer, so I saved a bit, almost a year longer, and I went to Dr. Ferreira because personally, for me, I thought that's the right thing to do. Yeah, but that's just me. I'd like to hear your opinion having transplant done in Lithuania, Karolis. I'm really tempted to have this procedure done there. So I've heard of, I think, 2 hair transplant clinics in Lithuania, not impressed with any. One of them, I know the doctors, they like got recently training somewhere in Dubai. Like one guy that knows people that are working there told me about it, and they have like 3 cases online, pretty much like Dr. Ferrer, but like I don't know, it doesn't look appealing, let's say. It doesn't look terrible, but if you're gonna have complications like I had, popping and then whatnot, like, are they gonna know what to do? They're new, you know, doctors. What they gonna know? You know what I mean? So for me, it's a gamble. I would rather go to someone that has the experience and has the time on tissue, knows what to do in different cases. Not that I'm saying they're terrible. I'm just saying that's what I've heard, and that's my personal, unbiased opinion. So yeah, not a big fan of Lithuania, at least right now. I'm going to Elite Hair July 5. I'm 24, balding. Don't want to be bald as such at young age. Does the transplant hair take longer to grow since it takes 12 months to see results? Adrian. So, best of luck on your transplant. Hopefully everything gonna go well. Transplant, yes, it takes approximately 12 months to see a full result. Maybe 10 for some. I'm hoping you are on finasteride, because at 24, if you already need a transplant, means your loss is pretty aggressive. It 100% not stabilized. Look into medication. Do me a favor, because if you do an aggressive transplant with low hairline and then your balding pattern is like Norwood 6, but it's not visible to naked eye right now, you're gonna be in a big trouble in 10 years. So yeah, do me a favor. Look into medications. If you're not, if you are, best of luck. Mohammed, I'm waiting and I hope of the cloning technique. Well, people have been hoping for it for years. Who knows what's gonna happen? Adrian, Is it a big difference from your natural hair and the transplanted hair? Can you like see a line from your transplanted hair when you have short hair? Can you show it? Show if possible. First of all, have a look at my videos on my channel. I did just so many, it's already boring, you know, talk about it. Nonetheless, if the hair transplant is done correctly, it means the correct hair implanted in the correct place with the correct angle, then it's gonna look natural. Nobody gonna say it's a transplant, nobody gonna know. For example, in my case, I again checked the video, I analyzed the implantation angles. It looks great. Of course, density is not perfect, it's a bit thin, but that's my personal limitation. Nonetheless, if it's done correctly, it's great. If it's not done correctly, and most of the places the implanting hairs straight up, you will never gonna be able to, it's just not gonna look natural, especially if you got the hair loss over here, but behind it in the mid scalp it's pretty strong, and you're gonna implant hair straight up, 90 degrees up, like I've seen it all the time. Then you're gonna, I think I've got a picture. It's very important. I think it's very important. There you go. I don't remember where I've seen this picture, but this is basically how it's gonna look. Native hair, look at the hair angles, and then implanted hair. It's not even 90 degrees. This is it's pretty good implantation angles. I've seen much worse. And yeah, it doesn't look natural, doesn't look good. So you'll be stuck to do the same like kind of hairstyle spiked up, and that's it. And whenever you don't use any product, you after the shower, it's just not gonna look great. Like it's not gonna look natural. So, you know, I mean, that's the only, let's say, downside. So just be careful. I think I lost it already. Opinion on Aisha hair, many thanks. I have no idea, I'm sorry. The clinic I went to, doctor did both the incisions and the extractions himself. The assistants did the implantation. He was great, they were good, and considering the price I really can't complain. Well, once again, sounds great. Why don't you share with us where exactly did you go? And how is it? Like, are you, how long you are after transplant? Pardon me if you already said, but got problem with short-term memory. How much did you pay for both transplants? Javier, I already answered, about 14 or 15,000 euros. How many consultations did you have before your first transplant? I had 2 live consultations with Dr. Bisanga and Dr. Lopanzula, and then I had maybe 60 online consultations. So yeah, I took it seriously, and I suggest you to do the same. Just email across the board the best surgeons across the world. Online consultations most of the time are free of charge, and see what they're gonna say. You don't have to go, you know, to do a transplant with them. Moving on. So, holy cow, 50 people watching. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. 53, I cannot believe, that's great. Guys, can we like this video or something? That would be great. I cannot keep up with the comments, so apologies if someone thinks it's lagging. I'm lagging. I'm super slow. Since the bold truth is not happening, I think I might stay another maybe 20 minutes. Let's see. How many consultations could hair meto give side effects? Hair meto, I have no idea what's that, I'm sorry. Do you support a football team? No, I don't like to, I prefer play sports. And thank you so much. Got another mojito. Nice and cold. Today you are the official substitute for the bold truth, no technical difficulties. Yes. Can a trichologist tell me if my hair is miniaturizing? Because I cannot tell when looking in the mirror. Should I go to one? I think it's a good idea overall to have this kind of assessment. But first of all, ask trichologists if they actually do such assessment. It's definitely a good idea just to see what is your pattern, at least it looks like. Because Sometimes you don't see the miniaturization, but under the microscope you're gonna be able to see where it starts, so you can kind of outline the future pattern basically. So yeah, I think that's definitely a good idea. How's it going with the oral minoxidil? I'm gonna do an update video next week. Hopefully it's gonna be 2 weeks. I think so far so good. Hey there, buddy, old pal, Michael G. How you doing, my friend? You alright? Maximus, you got so many questions, holy cow. I have a question. I think my balding pattern is almost totally stable since many years. Precisely since I was 22. I'm your age, so like 7 years. Don't really need to be using finasteride and minoxidil. First of all, even being 29 or 30, it does not mean your hair loss completely stabilized. However, if you look at your family history, if your father, your grandfathers from mother's and father's side all have something similar like you have, or let's say less but nothing more, then I would say it's safe to assume that's your kind of overall pattern. But if they're, for example, Norwood 5 and you right now Norwood 3 and you think it's stabilized, be careful. 29, 30, 27, whatever, it's still early days. Hair loss never really stabilizes. People keep losing hair until they die. It slows down dramatically. Like, I think since once you reach like 30 years of age and maybe even a bit more, the hair loss kind of slows down. But again, it depends on the individual. Some people start losing hair at 35, you know, so, and they go to Norwood 3, Norwood 5. So it really depends. But yeah, safe to assume, safe bet is just to look at your family history. I know in Switzerland they're selling 2.5 milligram Lonitol. Good for them. I realized a lot of my idea of hair loss is in my head and it's a mental battle. I just realized since I'm getting older, I'm looking for changes to show that I'm aging, if that makes sense. Yeah, I guess, I mean, I'm not young anymore. I'm like 30, 29, but I'm gonna be 30 this year. But on another hand, like, I'm not trying to find, like, it's actually stupid, I think, to think that you're gonna be looking like a teenager for all your life and trying to chase it. If you want, it's fine, but like, just don't focus. Just focus on other things in life. Just do something. I don't know. Just don't focus on yourself that much, or at least not on your looks. Focus on your character. Focus on your knowledge. That's I think better things to focus. Don't really want to be on Fin forever. The clinic suggests 8 months, but what do you personally think, considering as well? If the clinic suggested to be 8 months, then that's what you should do. Nobody wants to be on medication, but I mean, you don't have to be on medication, but you're gonna get bald. Finasteride is preventing male pattern baldness. If you got male pattern baldness gene, you're gonna keep losing hair. There is no way around it. So you either swallow the pill, literally, or you keep losing hair. You accept that you're gonna lose more hair. It's your choice at the end of the day. Do what you want. Did the doctor tell you to do minoxidil after transplant? He did not. But I spoke about oral minoxidil, said planning to start. He said just do 5 milligram. So yeah, and I'm doing 1.25. I'm not following advice of my doctor. Carolis, Cape Sakas, do you mind me asking how much did you pay per graft for your transplant with Ectofera? Oh, the question is just hilarious. First transplant, 2.5 euro per graft. Second transplant, 2 euro per graft, because that was his old pricing. Now he's increased his pricing to 3 euro per graft and 2.5 euro per graft after 4,000. Hope that helps. Can we look at the picture I sent you, and can you tell me how many grafts are needed? I know it's hard via picture, but if you can give me you sent me what, just now? Oh, hold on. Let me have a look. I think I will need more mojitos to keep up with you guys. I don't have an email. Unless you send me an email earlier. Hold on. If you could read me beginning of your first email, then I would have a look. I've got so many, I don't know who you are. I'm sorry. Beard transplant to the cheeks. What do I need to look out for? How will it look natural? The same thing like with the scalp transplant, standard transplant. Just look at the results. Look how are they done. Look how kind of like how they're using hair. Are they using scalp hair or are they using beard hair? Like for example, Matt Dominance did his beard transplant recently, and he did the right thing. He did use his beard hair to use on a beard. They're gonna look great, even though it still looks to me it looks fake. It's like, I don't know, I really find it difficult to find really good looking, natural looking beard transplants. Nonetheless, they're gonna look much better than with a scalp hair donor because it's not the same hair. Yeah, look out for this. Better inhibits 50% of scalp DHT. Do you think the orientation of the graft matters? Like, say you implant the graft at the proper angle, you can still rotate the graft 360, if that makes sense. Max, interesting question. I was actually thinking exactly the same during my surgery. A good thing for me, I've got straight hair, so it doesn't really matter that much. Another thing, I really don't think they are that free to rotate. Since whenever you implant the graft, the blood acts like a proper glue, and you would be surprised how well they're keeping them in there. So and then the graft is attaching super fast. Some surgeons even saying like they're fully attached in like 72 hours. So like I really seriously doubt it's gonna be able to rotate. But if you have a coarse like a kinky hair, then it doesn't matter. It's kinky anyways. If you got wavy, then maybe. But to be honest, I never heard this kind of thing being an issue. But that's an interesting question for us nerds. I think it's. I actually spoke with Dr. Ferreira during my surgery. I said, so if whenever you like implant the graft already, is it possible to actually dislodge it and change like the angle? And he said it's almost impossible, because like once the graft is there, it's not really going anywhere unless you like properly move it. But then again, it's more likely gonna just come out rather than like change the direction. Again, it's kind of related. It's very, very difficult actually to dislodge. But if it's, on the other hand, if it's pre-made incisions and incisions are made way too big, if it's done by some amateur, then it's definitely easy to dislodge. It's just the incision is much bigger than the actual graft, so there is a lot of place to move around. Might be another reason why the transplants are not looking natural. You said your hair looks thin. Looks good to me. Once you grow it out, it will look great. What is the limitation you mentioned? Well, my limit. First of all, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Indeed, I really love my transplant, and to be honest, I think I can pull off slightly longer hair once everything gonna grows out, and if oral minoxidil gonna work better. So yeah, really happy. It looks great. My personal limitation is my thin caliber of hair. I need a lot of it to create density. So it's gonna look better, denser when the hair gonna be longer. But with the short hair, for example, I've got one graft with 5 hairs. So if the hair is short, you don't see much of the hairs, they like bunching together. But when the hair is growing longer, they creating more coverage, if it makes sense. It's a hilarious explanation, but I hope it makes sense. So when the hair is shorter, it's like it's not gonna be as dense. And if I would have a denser, like a coarser hair, like a 80 or 70, even 5 microns, for example, that would look so much better even with short hair. So yeah, that's my personal limitation, and my big balding area, Norwood 5A, and I just need to preserve donor as well, so I cannot implant like a super dense everywhere. Holy cow, someone gave me another $5 or something, but we're gonna go to it. I'm 55 in August. Is it too late thinning Norwood 3 currently and the hairline is high? To be honest, being a Norwood 3 at 55, you're in a goddamn amazing position, my opinion. I definitely don't see any problem with the hair transplant. And I would even dare to say, again, I'm not doctor, not professional, don't take my advice as a fact, but I would not even take any finasteride, anything. Like I always say, if my destination is to be in Norwood 3, why would I even care about the medication? Just fill in the bold Norwood 3 area, job's done. You're not gonna, like thin anymore. And even if you will, you're not gonna become Norwood 7 all of a sudden if you're not prone to be one. Norwood 7 is actually extremely rare, believe it or not. So yeah, I see it as a good thing. How long after receiving hair transplant were you able to return to use topical products like Regain? Most surgeons recommending around 2 weeks. So basically as soon as the scabs are gone. But I know, for example, eugenics, they not a big fan of using anything really topical for the first year at least, or well, at least 6 months. So they want to give the transplant best possible, chance to kind of grow, survive, because there can be some interactions, some how to say, I don't know, allergy or whatever. So yeah, but generally speaking, 2 weeks is should be enough. Do you have a girlfriend? Yes, she just bring me a mojito. She's brilliant, I love her. Pinning on top, but not really bad yet. Oh, great for you. I'm all over the place tonight. Yeah, Maxos, you're literally. It's great. I love the energy. If you could put as much energy into every single video I'm putting, that would be even better. Adrian, I know about my young age that I might lose more hair after my hair transplant in future, and that I should try minoxidil. But if I'm gonna use minoxidil after the operation, is there any reason to wait? So first of all, minoxidil will not prevent your hair loss, future hair loss. Let's begin from that. Second, you will have to stop minoxidil before surgery around, I think at minimum is 1 week, I think. I might be wrong. And you can start using after 2 weeks, as I just said before. So in this at least 3 to 4 weeks, you are likely gonna experience shedding, because minoxidil is your hair is really dependable on minoxidil. If you're not gonna give for 1 month, you're definitely gonna get shedding. So in my opinion, it's not worth starting unless your surgery is after 1 year, then yes. But if it's after 2 months, 100% no. It's just not worth it. You're not gonna experience results. You're just gonna shed more hair, and you're gonna create worse result before surgery, and the transplant surgeon will not know what actually the realities of your situation. Anyways, just my opinion. Nobody in my family has the same balding pattern like myself, but honestly I'd rather go bald if the only other choice is staying on thin forever. Well, it's a tough choice to make, but just sleep on it. Wait maybe a couple of years or something. Don't do harsh decisions. Listen, I knew about finasteride since I was, I think, 23 or 24, something like that, and I was Norwood 3. And I didn't take it. I was oh, finasteride, some drug, I'm never gonna be taking it for life. Really, no. It's all chemicals, whatnot. Look at me, 28 when I started, or 27 when I started finasteride. I'm on finasteride now. I'm happy that I started finally. Better later than never. But imagine what could have happened if I would start back then 5 years ago. I would save so much hair. I would avoid second transplant, but definitely not the first one. But I would be in so much better situation. Biggest regret so far. Few weeks ago, Lork, search chat. Oh, few weeks ago. Oh, Lior. Okay, I see. Oh, I didn't reply to you. Oh, gosh. I'm really sorry that I didn't reply to you, man. I'm really getting quite big amount and it just slipped somewhere. Okay, let's have a look at the pictures. Oh yeah, I remember. So it's like a Norwood 5. It's kind of a V. Oh, so you've been on the medication and you had great success. Ah, strange, I didn't reply. I remember seeing these pictures. Maybe I was on my phone. Anyways. So if I remember correctly, you've been on finasteride minoxidil but just started recently and you already had great success basically in terms of regrowth. So I say, looks amazing. It really does look amazing. Keep up doing whatever you're doing. And yeah, if you're considering transplant, don't do it at least until you're on the drugs for like 12 months altogether. Because I think your crown is like, it has so much miniaturized hair that I think gonna thicken up. You know what? Actually, if you don't mind, I can show to the guys this picture. I don't think it's just a crown, really. Yeah, it was much bigger. It was here. That's how it looked, and that's how it looks right now. So definitely just keep doing what you're doing. I think it's gonna be better. Possibly you're gonna avoid transplanting the crown altogether and just gonna need to do some minor work in the hairline for now. So yeah, looks great. Happy for you, man. 2.5 milligram generic finasteride, good dose every other day. That's not a standard dose, that's for sure. I know. So finasteride is dose dependent, but it's not. So if you're going lower than 1 milligram, which is standard dose per day, 0.5 for example, is still going to be pretty efficacious. It's going to be like maybe 5 or 10% less DHT inhibiting than 1 milligram. And if you're going lower to 0.25 milligram a day, it's still going to inhibit about 15 to 20% less DHT than 1 milligram. But it still works, and it works pretty well actually. So it's better this amount than no amount. But if you're going higher, the efficacy, it's not gonna increase. Like the efficacy pretty much plateaus at 1 milligram, and then after 1 milligram it still goes up, but just very small amount, and then it kind of, I think at 2.5 milligram it completely plateaus. It might be slightly better, but it's like gonna be like, in a single digit, maybe even less than 5% increase. So really don't see that. I don't think you really need that much, to be honest. Just stay with 1 milligram per day, or even every other day. I think that's gonna be bad. I don't think it's worth it, because we need to find the lowest dose possible that it still works and works well. So what's the point to put as many drugs as possible in yourself? It's not gonna be good. Just find what works and find the lowest possible dose and stick with it. Max, right, I don't mean rotate the graft while it's inside. I just said that to explain it better. But before you implant, maybe you can see the graft has a curve to it, so you can make sure to insert. I see at the correct angle, but yeah, I never see the doc talk about this, so maybe it's not an issue. Also, I have fine hair, so not too worried about it. Yeah, Max, I get it. Like, I mean, that's in general, that's what the surgeon has to think about when he's implanting. So, because the way he's gonna implant, the graft gonna grow, in this angle. It's not just the actual graft, but like he needs to keep in mind how the hair grows out from the skin, you know what I mean, like to create this actual angle, because that's really what we see after it's been transplanted. We don't see what's under the skin. So I mean, yeah, it's an issue overall. Most of the places, they just don't care about proper hair angles, but yeah, it's important for natural look. Andy Powder, thank you for €5. Ooh, gonna have another mojito. Thank you for answering all mine and chat questions. You are a great help. Let's drink to that. Do you really think finasteride with minoxidil can make hair thicker and some regrowth maybe? Yes, definitely. Holy cow, Martin Prum, €50. Thanks so much. There are gonna be a lot of mojitos. Dude, you're a legend, helping so much people. Give me a message when you are in Holland and we drink a beer or mojito together. Well, if it's not summer, I'm more of a beer guy, but if it's summer and it's hot, iced mojito. Perfect. Thank you. Well, so you know what's funny? So many people already like telling me come to my country, you know, for a beer or whatever for holidays. It's great. Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to do. Basically, I'm just a regular patient, regular guy like you guys that just doing my own research, did plenty of research, and just want to share with you guys. Just so because I've seen so much bad work in hair transplant, especially, I'm kind of passionate about this topic, and I really hate seeing guys being destroyed. Like when I see someone with a destroyed donor, there is no way back. There is literally no plan B. Game over. It's pretty sad. So yeah, just anyways, yeah, that's me. Jeez, 50 euro. Max, do you think people need to be more aware of the possibility of a hair transplants failing to grow? Yes. No one knows the percentage of unsatisfactory result, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's around 10%. It depends on the place. In a good practice, the survival rate should be 90% and over. In a place, okay, I always say cheap, but okay, in the places that are not great at quality, you're gonna be surprised. I can easily say the probability of like the survival rate is probably less than 50%. Like most likely it's less than 50%, if not less, because most of the time they just do the transplant. The tech do the transplant. They never see this patient ever again. They don't know how it turns out, so they don't know what they need to improve maybe, and they just keep doing what they're doing. People keep telling me all like they doing a 1 million transplants. They good. They doing it day in day out. They know what they're doing. They have experience. No. They can do the shit transplants, implanting in the shitty angles over and over again. And they never see the result. How do they know? They think it's good. And they keep doing it. Doesn't mean it's good, especially with the donor. Have you seen so many videos of punching like that? Fucking 50 punches a minute. A minute. That's actually pretty good. A second. 50 punches a second, imagine. Like punch by punch. It's crazy. Like the donor is destroyed. And they don't know how it looks after 6-12 months. And they think they did a great job. I'm pretty sure that's what they think. So, yeah, a bit of a rant. This guy can definitely afford 6 euro graft or something like that. Damn, 50 bucks. It's 50 euro, it's not 50 bucks, it's more. I did 4 euro graft with Dr. Bisanga. That's great, man, Martin. Good for you, and Dr. Bisanga is a great surgeon. As I said, I couldn't afford him. I still cannot afford him. We did it on the last Q&A, don't worry. Okay. All right, yeah, you're probably right. Do you have an opinion on how scalp micropigmentation would look as a combination with hair transplant for dense look? Of course I do have an opinion. It most probably gonna look great if it's done correctly. In my opinion, the hairlines, if you're going too close, if the transplant is done overall, but it's kind of thin, you want to thicken it up to make less contrast between scalp and hair, let's say. If you're gonna go with SMP too close to the hairline, it's gonna look fake. It just doesn't look good, especially when the hair is growing longer. You can clearly see there's like some black dots in between. It looks terrible, to be honest. But behind the hairline, like maybe 1-2 centimeters, even further actually, like then you cannot really see the dots because it creates overall like an illusion. And the same goes like in the temple points. If it's just gonna be too obvious. So it really depends on a case to case. If there is enough hairs, then you can get away with a little bit, but then why would you need it? My personal opinion is always best to put hair rather than ink. Ink will never on its own gonna look great unless you keep super shaved head, you know? Yeah, that's the way I look at it. Sajidur, hey Rolandas, I'm back to your channel. Hey my friend, how you doing? And it's a long ass time subscriber. Andy, what does Rolandas do like his own personal opinion hair consultation if you ask him per email? What? Wait, what? Wait, does Rolandas do like his own personal opinion hair consultation if you ask him per email? Andy, I don't want to say yes because I'm gonna get flooded with emails, but just the way I'm answering right now, I take my personal time only because I'm passionate about it and I like helping people to answer on messages, on emails. You will be surprised how many people are texting me, emailing me. I got at least 2 new people every day, at least. So imagine in 1 week I've got 14 people, new people, and next week I'm gonna have another, and then another, and like the list is just growing. And I'm not, like I'm doing it on my time. I'm not replying probably to everyone like I've seen this guy. Apologies for that once again, but I'm doing my best, but I cannot promise I'm gonna answer to every single person. So yeah, I'm trying to kind of separate, because I'm spending way too much time on this, like it's not worth my time, let's say. I don't have time for myself. Sajidur, what are you drinking? I am drinking mojito. Thank you so much. Cheers. Holy cow, I can't believe I reached the end of the questions. Maybe that's a good time to finish this Q&A. It's been almost 2 hours. Holy shit. Been talking a lot, my throat starts to hurt, but yeah, the mojito keeps me going. Such a shame the bold truth is not live. Pretty bad. I was looking forward. Nonetheless, we can have another maybe couple of minutes. Put your questions if you got anything else. Ask me anything. More than happy. You could be the new Joe Tillman. I prefer not to be new Joe Tillman, because there's already Joe Tillman. I prefer to be Mr. Rolandas. Sounds better, I think. Unlike Joe. Joe is a very generic name. Rolandas, on the other hand. How many Rolandas do you know? What do I do for a living? Nothing. To be honest, I got redundant from my workplace half a year ago. Now I'm a bit less than half a year ago. And now I'm working in constructions with a friend. Not the best, not the perfect job. It's a shitty time. Yeah, nothing impressive. I used to work as in hospitality as a catering manager. So I was like, organizing events and, lunches, dinners, whatever, bar nights for like, private, meetings. But it was mainly like in the business, like buildings in the business bank, for example. And right now everyone is working from home. There is no work for us. Are you still taking Propecia or some other cheap alternative? I'm taking Propecia, yes. I don't want to play with this. Andy, nice. Finally saw you talk to this one viewer, him saying that he messaged you and stuff. I was just wondering about now. I know. Well, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think it's enough actually. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate your time. Really helpful. Oh, thanks so much for all the donations. Really, like, great. I'm just gonna go drunk over the weekend, so don't expect any videos. If you got any questions, as always, comment down below. Under this video, under any other video. Give me a solid. Whenever you're watching a new video, hit that like button. That's gonna help me tremendously for the YouTube algorithm. So YouTube knows people like this video, they watch this video, so YouTube can promote to more people. Gonna find this video, gonna go ahead and like this video, so YouTube gonna know people like this video and they're gonna promote to more people. And the things goes on and on. Of course, it's not as perfect as it sounds in real life. YouTube really hates people. It's a proper struggle, but nonetheless, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.